Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is expected to travel to the United States next week to meet US President Donald Trump. Sources have told WION that the expected dates of his US travel are from the 12th to the 14th of February. Prime Minister Modi will be the fourth leader to meet US President Trump since he returned to the White House for a second term. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is currently in the United States, while Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is also expected to visit the White House this week. Jordan's King Abdullah will meet the US President on the 11th of February. Since Trump won elections in November last year, Prime Minister Modi and the US President have spoken to each other twice. The last conversation between both leaders was on the 27th of January. During this conversation, they discussed commitment to a stronger partnership between the two countries and regional security issues in the Indo-Pacific, Middle East and Europe. Prime Minister Modi and Donald Trump also spoke about bilateral trade and defensive cooperation. The latter emphasized on fair trade and increased procurement of US security equipment. The Indian Prime Minister travels to the US from France following his participation in the Artificial Intelligence Summit in France. The summit, scheduled for the 10th to the 11th of February, will discuss the future of artificial intelligence, its governance and AI's role in shaping global policies. Also, for more on this, we were earlier joined by Mr. Raymond E. Vickery, former U.S. Assistant Secretary of Commerce for Trade Development and Senior Associate at the Center for Strategic and International Studies from Washington, D.C. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Well, I think the first item on the agenda is to reestablish the personal relationship between the Prime Minister and the President. They've been close in the past, and President Trump will want to make sure that Modi is still a fan of his. Likewise, Modi will want to know that Trump is going to treat him with respect in the way in which he did during the first term that Trump had. After that, it'll be a question of looking at the issues involving peace and prosperity, how these two great democracies can work together. On the peace angle, the security point, first item I think will be China. It is not exactly certain what President Trump wants to do with Xi, but he has talked with him. And he will want to know that Modi and India are backing him up in his efforts with China. On that score, there ought to be pretty much lockstep, but it will be important to establish that. On the situation with Ukraine, it's a bit more questionable as to what President Trump's going to want to do. And then you move on to the Middle East or Western Asia, as you'd say, and particularly what happens with Iran. As you know, President Trump has been very much hawkish in the past in that regard, whereas India has things that it needs to do with Iran. On the China question, I think Modi will want to be assured that Trump isn't moving in the direction of having what a G2 kind of a relationship. In regard to Ukraine, I think Modi will want to know that he can continue the relationship that he's had in terms of defense procurement, oil, and so forth. Turning to prosperity and the economic factors, the first issue on Trump's agenda is going to be tariffs. He seems to think that tariffs are available for everything, and be questions about energy. We hope the civil nuclear deal may be coming back, and of course, the procurement of defense equipment.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.